was coming for food. Right now he's a deputy governor. A young beautiful girl who's doing engineering in KU walked into his office and smiled and asked him, "Do you remember me?" And this man says no. So then the girl told him one day, "I came with a plate and no uniform." Actually, he used the tablecloth that was in his office to make a dress for that girl. She was going to school for food, but now she's studying engineering in Kenyatta University. For me, that was a very success story. It doesn't matter whether I'm going to school for food, but at the end of the day, we are getting education. The Turkana people, yes. I even saw the children, the performances. So the whole thing is that once you're going to school for food, but then you get education, and you also fall in love with education, which is also now the biggest difference that we have with our schools. Yeah, we have to build. When I spoke to those students, apparently they're also waiting for laptops, and the new laptops are there. Then number two, they told me they need more classes and they need more desks. That's what they told me. I asked them, what do I tell the president? Say, we are waiting for the laptops, which is very clear. They are waiting for. They know, yes. Even with the other needs. Yes. To them, they know this is the end thing. They didn't even mention food because already we have UNICEF that is giving them lunchtime. They're getting school feeding programs. So he told me laptops, and the second thing he told me desks and more the classrooms. And by class 8, then they're having cheaper boarding, so they boarding school. And I thought that was really fantastic. And so all is not lost. In Muranga, we are just telling our parents and our children, we need them to love education more. We are giving them all the support. They have the support from the leaders, they have support from the teachers, and also from the professionals.
You have to respond to this, that you are not saying the truth about Muranga, that you should explain about that all schools are teaching in Kikuyu. In Muranga. How on earth will they ever learn English? Not taught. Is that true?
That's not true. I will tell you the truth. I went to Muranga. Yes. I was born and brought up in Muranga. From class 1 to 3, I was taught Kikuyu.
Yes.
So that's how I know how to read and write. By class 4, you switch to English and Swahili.
Right.
So that doesn't make me now that I cannot speak in English.
Which just apply it across the recommendation that vernacular languages be used to teach.
For me, for the rural area, let me tell you.
That policy has been fought by is it KNUT or
for the town centers, I would be let go. I don't think vernacular is important for the town. The schools are in urban settings, but back home. And I will say that when we are back at home, it is important that if a child is born and the mother is speaking Kikuyu and the father is speaking Kikuyu in the whole village, it is always right to know how to write that language, even how to read it. I think
that should just be taught in school. I mean, really.
Where will they get that?
Wait. The issue here is national policy as opposed to local situations. So what should be the national policy about teaching in vernacular in school? Should it start at
what you should call it is not vernacular, mother language
later? Yeah.
Children when they go to school must be taught the language their mother speaks. Because you are not, if children know how to count to 1 to 10 in one language, then you start teaching them in English.
Yes.
So don't let any
how will you teach them in school in mother tongue if you are not, for example, it means then you have to get teachers who speak mother tongue who come from that area only.
But basically,
how will that apply?
You only have the teachers.
Teachers in Muranga.
That is from class 1. You're talking only from class 1 to class 3. But then you have from class 4 to class 8. So any other teacher would teach, but from class 1. And again, the Kikuyu lesson is like computer lesson, where you have only one computer teacher. Then that means the Kikuyu language teacher or the Luo or Kamba language, it's only one teacher who teaches.
And if you go to Navara, you teach
I became a presenter in a radio station. Yeah, exactly. So I feel that we should, the way we preserve the culture, it is also very good to preserve our language, our local, the first language.
Well, the issue, of course, that's subject to argument on whether it should be taught in schools and whether what that promotes in terms of deployment of teachers. It means then the teachers who are going to be hired in those particular areas must be local. So it introduces
even now.
Perspective.
Not local.
But if you need that imbalance in the education sector, because there are areas which don't have enough teachers trained from, perhaps if you go to Turkana, you not find enough teachers who are trained there. What will happen to those?
But you're only talking about only one teacher.
Turkanas, until they get Turkanas, until they get lawyers to go to my school, that's.
But there are many.
Yeah. And then that is again booking people into their home areas.
Not exactly.
How about national integration? I mean, all these questions.
The national integration, you know, this is only one, and you're saying it's only one subject. Like the way you'll have a computer teacher, the way you can have a French teacher.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that then because you have a French teacher, then everybody else is speaking French.
Okay.
No.
No, but you're going to teach maths, you're going to teach science in which language?
The same.
I think Nelson Mandela said very strong words that when you speak to a person in their own language, you speak to their heart. When you speak to the second language, you speak to their mind. Yeah. So I think at this tender age, it's important even when you're training on the counting and everything else. But this is only strictly to the schools that are in the rural setup. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine. I think before we tie up, we wind up, our time is up. Isn't it necessary, looking at the flood of comments, questions for the parliamentary committee that you chair, to sort of do an open day or have public hearings about these issues? Because there are many. What are you doing?
I will recommend. I will recommend to my committee, and I know a lot of them must be watching. So I'm only a chair, yes, but we have a team of 29 members. So I would recommend that we will sit as a committee and have a proper direction. But I also want to say we are still open. It is important. I know there are like issues, and I was waiting for them to be raised about the teachers who retired in 1997, who have not been paid their dues, and a lot of them have even passed on without being paid their dues, and it's really a concern in the whole country. So you write to us, and I know write to us through the Clerk of National Assembly, write to the Committee on Education. Then we will be able to have a meeting. If my committee feels that we can have an open day, I'll let you know, and people would come and bring in their issues. But as I also said, it's good to have facts, it's good to have documentation, so that once we're able to probe or investigate on an issue, yes, then we have proper documentation.
All right, yes, that's it. I mean, you heard it from her, Madam Honorable Sabina Chege, Chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Education, discussing education in the country. Stay on.